Okay, welcome to the Swing Trading with Cycles channel. Let's do our Dixie update here. So this is important. Looks like we're holding that little potential swing low that was trying to form from day 12. So we're getting right into it here. It's November 17th. We're going to do our quick review of Dixie. So we had these two really big down days, right? November 10th and then followed through Friday, November 11th. And since then, we've basically been consolidating at this lower end of the range. I mean, I hope you can see that. I'll draw a little ray that could make that more clear, right? So like you can see this, and obviously we even had a breakdown below it, which we recovered. So now it's your question of like, well, that's interesting, right? Like, isn't this just a bear flag? And of course, I think that quote unquote classical chart patterns are useful when they're useful, and like this is a helpful construct because a bear flag or a flag of any kind, really forget the bear or bull connotation, is just a consolidation. And consolidation usually continues in the direction of the prevailing move, right? This was a down move, now we're consolidating, and so you would expect this spills over eventually. Most importantly though, forgetting the chart patterns, it's the price data. We still need to get above that 108 spot 468 level. That would give us, that would put this low, this big down day behind us. And then we need to get above this one, right? So that's our next real level. Now, technically, before we get there, we've got to get through like right about that, right? Like you can think about this as like a consolidation zone, a congestion zone. And so we got to get above that first. And you can see these little wicks. Price tried to get there and got rejected. Now we can see, and this is a daily chart. And so if we can get through there, maybe we go up to test the 108 spot 468. You know, maybe this coincides with a few days down for the S&P as we move into a daily cycle low. But it also could be that we're going to get a very shallow daily cycle low and a very short rally on this one for the Dixie. So that low that we are looking at right here on November 15th was day 12. So this is day 13, day 14. And you can see we've had these like short-term lows. Like this was on day 17. This was on day 15. So now we're going to kind of see, is this building a bear flag to spill us down to 104 spot 636? Or are we going to make a little bit more upward progress before coming down there? Because it does seem like we're going to go down and test that level. That is my expectation. Just based on just this trend, right? Now, what this is doing right here, and this is a Thursday, it's important when things happen, we're creating a potential situation where we can get a higher high on the weekly chart next week, right? You have to think about how this would play out. If we can close right around here, right, we set up a scenario, and I'll just kind of draw it for the sake of visual, right? Like you can kind of foresee a scenario where you end up getting something like this as the candle, like, you know, our candle for the following month. It's going to open closer to the highs, right? Like maybe like right there, right? And so it makes it easier to make a new high, which would be like, and obviously we haven't closed for the week yet, but wherever we close for the week, we need to get above the high from this candle. Because right now we're building a small little green bull flag, or excuse me, not a bull flag, a small little green hammer on the weekly. So that's important. The monthly is still red. That's really, I mean, deep red. We talk about how months go from red to green. This is nowhere near doing that, and we still have a lot of month left, albeit. But notice where we're at, right? We're still below the low from September, which is 107 spot 68. So that's another level on the way to that 108 level that you'd want to watch for. Like, can we get above there? That's starting to give you a hint that we may have more of a, you know, a short-term low. That, again, that doesn't mean we're not going to eventually spill over to this 104 spot 78 level. I see that as highly likely. Again, looking at the size of this candle, this November candle, I suspect it's not done, like, let's say just in December or this month, I should say. We're probably going to get a continuation and the final resolution sometime in December, maybe even January. And also note that, you know, again, this is the context of a 3-year cycle, and September was month 20, which is so far the high. So we're in month 22 right now. If it were a perfect 3-year cycle, it would be exactly 36 months. They generally aren't exactly on that time. Last one was 35 months, so very close actually. There was one that was 36 months. That was one that bottomed in May 2014. The one before that, it was 38 months, 39. The one before this one that we're in right now, or the one I should say that bottomed on January 2018, was actually a really long one at 45. And you can quibble and say this was a new cycle, like this was actually the cycle, and then this was another cycle that was bearish. Doesn't really matter. The point is, it was a period where we had a relatively short advance, and then just kind of this so technically this whole thing is an advance because this is a higher high, but you can see this is mostly consolidation after like a really violent move up. So now you kind of wonder, is this violent move up over? Are we going to do something like a consolidation for the rest of the cycle, which would probably go until January 2024. So that's what we're going to watch for. That's going to be really interesting. And again, the Dixie affects many, many different things. So we're going to be watching this very closely and continuing to update on this channel. Thank you for watching.